There's an economic storm heading toward the United States, and it's been brewing for quite some time. Many of us have seen this coming: layoffs, cutbacks, and economic instability. Now, we're really starting to feel the impact. Major companies across every industry are cutting costs in preparation for 2024, and unfortunately that means mass layoffs for American workers. This is terrifying for families and individuals everywhere. Look at the data. Americans are not prepared for financial emergencies. Savings accounts, many don't have one. In fact, most are drowning in credit card debt, which is at an all-time high. And the worst part? Most people have just one source of income: their job. What happens when that job disappears in a wave of layoffs? People are left scrambling, barely getting by, and it's a situation too many Americans are facing right now. Recently, we got new job numbers, and it was pretty laughable how the media handled it. CNBC was dancing around the figures, claiming the job market is hotter than expected. But they didn't take the time to dig deeper into what those numbers really mean. If they had, they would have seen the stark reality. Full-time employment is plummeting, and what's replacing it? People are taking on second or even third jobs, part-time jobs, just to make ends meet. And the media? They're celebrating that. The Biden administration was patting itself on the back, claiming America added more payrolls. But adding more payrolls when people are forced to juggle 2 or 3 jobs is not a victory. Let's call it what it is. 2024 is shaping up to be the year of layoffs, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. What we're seeing is a shift from quiet cutting, where companies trim the fat without making waves, to loud cutting, where mass layoffs are blatant and widespread. Many U.S. companies have already signaled that they're planning major cost-cutting measures. CNBC themselves reported that corporate America is preparing for layoffs across the board. So how can they not connect the dots? The reality is staring us in the face. Full-time, stable jobs are on the decline, and that decline is happening in every industry you can think of. From department stores to tech, cosmetics, airlines, and even media companies, no sector is safe. Bloomberg reported layoffs from companies across the board, from tech to retail and beyond. Estée Lauder, for example, is cutting as many as 3,000 jobs as part of a restructuring plan aimed at getting the company back on track. Estée Lauder is one of the world's largest beauty companies. And if they're slashing jobs, what does that tell you about the state of the economy? Or take Snap, for instance. They've already let go of 10% of their workforce this year, 32,000 tech employees in total. The company is trying to best position themselves to handle a slowdown in ad revenue. That same story is playing out across the entire tech industry. Then there's UPS. They just made a deal with the union a few months ago, but now they're cutting 12,000 management jobs. They're taking a hard look at their costs, and this is the result. We're seeing it everywhere. Big transportation companies cutting back, streamlining operations, and laying off workers. Not even those in the new woke departments, like diversity, equity, and inclusion, are safe. Zoom recently shut down its entire DEI operation and outsourced it to save costs. The message is clear. Companies are trimming the fat. They're cutting costs, and it doesn't matter if they're profitable or not. They're in survival mode. This isn't just about one industry or one company. It's a broad trend that's sweeping across corporate America. Now, what's behind all of this? Inflation. It hasn't been kind to anyone. Consumers are feeling the pinch, and they're cutting back on spending. When consumers stop spending, corporations start feeling the pressure from their shareholders to do the same, cut costs, and protect profits. In the past, companies might have been able to pass the rising costs onto their customers, but with inflation, rising interest rates, and student loan payments resuming, people simply don't have the extra cash to spend. For corporations, the easiest way to cut costs and appease shareholders is through layoffs. Technology and financial companies are leading the charge, but no sector is safe. Just look at Macy's. They're closing 5 major stores and cutting 2,300 jobs. JetBlue Airways and Spirit Airlines, both are offering massive staff buyouts. And UPS, as I mentioned earlier, is cutting thousands of jobs. Paramount is another example. They've announced hundreds of layoffs, possibly because people are tired of their woke content. Whatever the reason, people are losing their jobs. Even the fast food industry isn't immune to this trend. Chipotle is testing an avocado scooping robot to replace workers. They've already introduced robots to deliver food, and Chick-fil-A has done the same. You sit at a table and a robot brings you your order because it's cheaper than hiring a human. All of this points to a disturbing reality. Mass layoffs are the easiest way for corporations to protect their bottom lines. And these layoffs are just getting started. The outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas reported that in February alone, companies planned 84,000 job cuts. And according to labor experts, we're only in the early stages of this wave of layoffs. As we move deeper into 2024, it's only going to get worse. No one is safe. Your company, your job, your industry, it doesn't matter how secure you think you are. Transportation, manufacturing, energy, food production, media, every sector is feeling the impact. Even education isn't immune. We've heard about layoffs for teachers. Yes, teachers, it's absurd. The idea that we're cutting jobs in education, of all places, is just as ridiculous as the avocado-scooping robots. But don't worry, the Biden administration is sending another $40 billion to Ukraine. We're paying the pensions and salaries of workers over there, while Americans are being laid off in record numbers. It's unbelievable. This is why it's never been more important to take control of your finances. The government isn't going to help you. It's up to you to get out of debt, diversify your income streams, and build financial security for yourself and your family. The storm is coming, and if you're not prepared, you'll be swept away. For months now, the government has been pushing the narrative that we're not in a recession and that unemployment is low. But the facts don't lie. Layoffs in February and the early part of 2024 were at their highest levels since 2009, the height of the last economic crisis. This isn't just a blip, it's a real, tangible economic downturn. And yet the administration keeps touting Bidenomics, as if it's a good thing, as if it's actually creating jobs. But where are those jobs? Delivering pizzas in retirement? We've all seen the stories of senior citizens picking up gig work just to make ends meet. It's heartbreaking, and it gets worse. Credit card debt is skyrocketing, and most Americans are barely able to make their minimum payments. We're talking about a full-blown crisis. If you haven't seen my videos on the credit card crisis, you need to check those out too. This issue is bigger than any one company or sector. It's a nationwide problem that's affecting millions of families. Here's the bottom line. Layoffs are accelerating, debt is piling up, and the government is more focused on sending money overseas than helping its own citizens. If you're not taking steps right now to protect yourself financially, you're at serious risk. Diversify your income streams. Get out of high-interest debt. Invest in assets that generate passive income. Take action, because no one else is going to do it for you. We're entering the year of the layoff, and it's not going to be easy, but if you take control of your financial future, you can weather the storm. The time to act is now.